Hi, right, okay, so let's get into the content. So firstly, just before I do that, at 150 subscribers, I am going to be giving away a stipplegait with a striker cert. As you can sort of see in the background, I mean, it looks pretty nice. You can vary the colours. You can, of course, have it on different cars, but I do think it's actually a really, really underrated and very, very cool looking sort of like decal. So all you need to do is basically subscribe, turn on the notifications, and leave a comment with your ID below. And then, of course, what I'll do then is that once I hit 150, I will pick out a winner from the Rocket League community, and of course I'll get that prize to you. Right, so moving on, so basically the content of the video on this occasion is of course about the glitched Pyrrhos Wheels. Now, I did want to talk about trading in general as well, and this guy was hilarious, so I just wanted to add him in, and then of course I'll be going through it. So basically, I'm sure as a lot of you know, or some of you will know, that if you bought the 3000 sort of like pack from the store around about the first hour of its release, for some reason there was a glitch which allowed you to actually trade all of the items basically with anybody. You're not supposed to, but it was allowed. Now, of course, Psyonix, they patched it and they managed to get it fixed. However, the ones that were bought in that first hour do remain on the market, and there's nothing seemingly that they can do about it, which is crazy, because, you know, you'd think that maybe they'd be able to patch it or stop them being tradable or something like that. Apparently, it seems that that is not the case. So, of course, they remain very rare. Fire Gods and Phoenix and Hellfires and things, not so much, but where it really comes down to is the Pyrrhos inverted wheels, because apparently they're not available in inverted. I think they came out once before apparently, but otherwise they're extremely rare, and of course as a result maybe of a YouTube video, I would say that a YouTuber called Zenic probably was the first to sort of put a video out, and it seems to have really blown up since sort of yesterday slash last night. And of course what's happened is that, as you can imagine, the Rocket League app has gone crazy. People are asking for absolutely insane prices, and of course it's gone all from there. So with this guy, I mean, the reason for this guy being included is because this guy I had messaged on the app, he originally said 1200 for the Pyrrhos wheels. I was like, yeah, that's good, I'll do that. Then he upped it to 1500, and I was like, right, okay, so you're clearly a bit of a time waster, and this is kind of what I want to get into with trading. Now, I do some trading videos, and of course, what I usually try and sort of say is, you know, things that will help in your trading. Now, I'm sure that there are a lot of experienced people out there, so don't get me wrong, I'm not going to teach you all to suck eggs, but there are people who maybe, you know, are less knowledgeable, and people that, you know, maybe know more, and obviously, you know, that's the people I want to help, just to give you some tips and some ideas. Now, sometimes you're going to get people who are time wasters. Now, this guy, I said to him, okay, I said, look, you know, let me add you on the game, we'll discuss it, and we'll see what we can do. Now, he comes into the chat, as you can probably see in the text box below. He then starts off with asking for 2 non-crate imports, and starts basically throwing in, during the trade, a lot of random stuff. Now, as you can kind of imagine, I mean, like, something that I'll always say with trading is that, you know, if someone is doing this, or if they're adding like extra blueprints or items that you don't want, you need to stand your ground. And you'll see that in various trading videos that I will be posting, where I stand my ground and say, no, I am not doing that. This is what you agreed. If we don't do it, fine. And do not have too much attachment to the item or too much attachment to the deal, because you may end up losing it anyway, and then you just have wasted a lot of time. Now, this one I found quite amusing, which is why it's included in the video, but also this is why I stayed, because I was just like, what is this guy actually doing? Now, as you can imagine, all I wanted was to buy the Pyrrhos inverted wheels from him. And of course, this was not going to happen with this guy. This guy starts throwing in some, you know, brow things, I can't even remember what they're called, a blueprint for 20XX, and a couple of other random things like some pass item and stuff, and he's like, oh, I want to trade the non-crate imports, and I'm like, well, we can just do it all as one, you know, we can just do it as one trade, and that will be much easier. I'll just do that, and the credits, it's fine, you know, we'll work it out from there. But he seemed to want to do it first. Now, in absolute honesty, what I felt with this guy is that I did the trade with, say I did the trade with him for the imports, he was just going to leave, because he would get a better deal, and he never was planning to sell the wheels. So be aware of that sort of thing. I mean, I've done a scamming video in the past. I've done how to be aware of scams. You know, linked something in below that someone else doing like a much fuller scam video in one of them as well. So, you know, there's various things to be aware of. Now, I'm not saying that this guy was going to scam. Maybe he's just, you know, genuinely wanted to do this trade first. But to be absolutely honest, he's throwing in an absolute load of rubbish anyway. So I'm just like, right, okay, look, I just want the Pyrrhos Wheels. And which is the thing. Now, talking about that while this plays in the background, the Pyrrhos Wheels, because they're glitched, it means that there's obviously a very much smaller number available. Now, this means that, of course, in theory, they're going to increase in rarity. Now, probably my only reserve with this is that, realistically, if that bundle stays always in the shop, is that ever going to are they going to really increase massively in value? That was probably my personal reservation on that, because if it always remains in the shop, maybe people just go, oh well, I'll just buy it from the shop, 3k, much cheaper than what you'd get on the app anyway, and I get the wheels and loads of other items. But you do get a lot of people who like to have items to trade and collect as well, and the fact that they're glitched, the fact that they're rarer and harder to get hold of, makes it all so much more appealing. And I do think that that's probably where you'll get the sales factor. It's a bit like when the Dominuses came into the shop. The Cobalt one, I can think, is the last one that came in. Pretty much, I bought it for 1,000, I think it was, and I had another one which I'd bought for about 3,150 or something like that, and then I sold for over 5k, and it was kind of like just one of those opportunities where someone didn't want the shop one, or maybe they missed it. But with these bundles, it is going to remain very much. So do let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about the sort of Pyrrhos glitch wheels. Is it something that you think you're just going to buy from the shop? Do you think you're just going to like buy it on the app, try and get one cheap? If you're trying to get one cheap, just be aware that, of course, there are those genuine people, but there also are a lot of people asking for some ridiculous prices. I want a titanium white Fennec. I want a titanium white Octane plus dueling dragons. Mind-blowing. I want a titanium white Dominus plus credits. It's like, what? Absolutely insane for a pair of wheels that basically was never meant to be glitched. And I suppose that probably is where the novelty lies. Glitch wheels that you can actually trade. They do look really good. I will say that actually the wheels look amazing, and they look way, way, way better than the normal Pyrrhos wheels that I also have, which I got in a trade not too long ago. And I thought they were cool, but when I see the inverted, I do think that they are much better. They're much more fiery, and they happen to go with my car, which is a big thing. Anyway, back to the guy in the trade. So basically what happened was I asked him if he had any painted catfish. I'm after a burnt sienna one for my collection. Unfortunately, I haven't got that one, and I'm after a sky blue for a friend as well. And I asked him then if he had painted octopuses, and he said no. So he sort of like gets a bit frustrated and just goes, oh my god, just trade, which happens in a minute. And eventually it results in him doing a bit of a countdown and leaving, which I found hilarious, if I'm absolutely honest, because I kind of just went, you know what? I think that this is a big thing with trading, is you've just not got to be attached. Yeah, I did want the item. Yeah, I thought 12 to 1,500 was not a killer price. Probably for resale value, I imagine that, there's a good chance that they'll go up. So I thought, yeah, that would have been alright. But I wasn't prepared to trade in on-crate imports for absolutely bugger all, basically on the say-so that he's going to then trade after, because there's nothing stopping. Once the trade's gone through, there is nothing stopping him leaving. And of course, this is probably where the main part of the video is just to be warned, really, that there are time wasters out there. I'm sure a lot of you know that there are scammers. I'm sure a lot of you know that there are time wasters. There are a lot of people who maybe English isn't their first language, which I can respect, and I don't have anything against that. I understand that can be a little difficult, but you're going to get people trying to take the absolute piss and basically offer you bugger all for things. As you can see in the background, though, he starts to count down, so I started adding in with 2. He's still counting down, even though we went into the trade window. I was like, right, are you going to give me the Pyrrhos? I didn't think he would. He goes 1, and then I add 0, and eventually, as I say, he leaves, which is fine. I really didn't care, and I really thought it was quite amusing. But the good thing is that, fortunately, the app is full of various people, and I was very fortunate to come across another person who actually was really awesome and actually genuine and not a time waster as well. As you can see there, they joined seemingly straight after, but that's just editing for you. It did take a little bit longer than that, but they were genuine, they were really nice. I chatted to them on the app afterwards as well, and actually we kind of like discussed kind of prices, and I managed to get them for not too bad a price, which, I mean, to be honest, I kind of actually really like the wheels. So I'm not sure whether, I'm going to keep them or try and maybe wait it out and sell them. I have absolutely no idea at this point whether I'm going to sell them for profit or keep them. I'm definitely going to keep the wheels for a time, I think. And also knowing that the 3k pack is available, I did think of that as well, is that, you know, if I could sell these Pyrrhos Wheels for some sort of profit, I could then basically just, you know, buy the pack anyway and have the wheels back. But then there's always that kind of doubt of like, well, if you don't wait your moment and you wait for them to increase in price so they go up even further, because let's face it, I mean, rarity, you kind of want the rarity to stabilize, and this was probably the last part of the video that I wanted to go at. So like with the Dominuses, when they went up a lot in price, they went up to crazy high prices, but they couldn't sustain that, and eventually they started to come back down. And you always on the app, I feel like, are going to get the piss takers, the sort of like the idiots who are just going to ask for ridiculous prices in the hope that someone comes along and goes, yeah, I'll buy them for that price. And realistically, you know, it will somewhere fluctuate. And I think what will happen is it will peak, it will go up to some crazy prices. All you'll see is these ridiculous prices that people are prepared to pay. And then slowly it will come down a bit. Now, how far it will come back down is, I don't know. And timing with anything to do with buying and selling is a really tough one. And that is something that unfortunately you can only ever gain with kind of just doing it yourself, watching these kind of videos, just gaining a bit of experience, and just pretty much just trial and error. You're not going to win every time. I think that is probably the biggest lesson that I could teach you with trading is you are not going to win every time. Did I win with these wheels? Well, in a sense, yes. But also in a sense, no, because being absolutely honest, I had an opportunity to buy the wheels yesterday at 1200. The guy said, yep, add me, I've got them, I'll do it now. And I kind of hesitated. I regret that. That was a mistake I made, and I ended up paying 650 more. So, you know, you do learn lessons, and it's a learning curve that I should have been a bit quicker. I should have taken the opportunity and bought it there and then. And that's kind of what I just want to pass on to you guys. But yeah, if you see, you know, Pyrrhos inverted wheels that are tradable, either on the app or in game that someone's offering for not a too bad a price, probably anything around the sort of 2k mark or under, you're not doing too bad. When they're asking for more than that, you're probably looking at a lot more. I mean, realistically, it very much boils down to individual choice and what a person is prepared to pay. I imagine that as these get rarer, the price will increase a bit, but I don't know what it's going to stabilize to. We will see, and of course I will be no doubt doing another video about that in the future. But yeah, I mean, that is the main bulk of my video. As you can see, the trade goes through, it's very successful. The guy was really nice, and it was a pleasant trade overall, so long may that continue. So if you found the video helpful, useful, informative, please do drop me a like on the video, it'd be amazing. If you do subscribe, remember the stipplegait with Striker is a possible prize for one of you, 150 subscribers. But until then, of course, I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, evening or night, whenever it is you're watching this. And of course, I shall see you in the next video. But until then, you take care. Cheers now. Bye-bye.